Take you live to Adelaide. The opposition leader, Peter Dutton, is speaking at the moment. Of course, it's been the scene of plenty of news conferences after that AUKUS announcement. Let's have a listen in.
That input into the system. And we have to have gas, we have to have coal until we've got a new system. If we don't, then the lights go out, there'll be disruption. And one of the worst things that you could have if, we go and see a butcher later today, or we go and see an IGA or a supermarket, they're cold rooms that need to run 24/7. I mean, you can't go into Woolies on a Monday morning if the power's been off all night, if you want to get something out of the freezer or out of the fridge. I mean, it just defies reality. So we have to have a sensible conversation, because many of the decisions that Labor's made so far will result in a disruption to our energy supply. So that means blackouts, and it's going to mean increases beyond what we're seeing from the 1st of July. And for 63,000 households here in South Australia, they're going to pay another $400 on top of their already increased electricity bill under this Labor government. And the decisions that Labor is making at the moment are going to push your power prices higher and higher. And AEMO and others have pointed this out.
I've got a few more questions on gas. So the government either pull the gas trigger or give itself new powers to force gas exporters to divert the excess supply to the domestic market?
Well, coming into the election, the government promised that they had a plan to deal with all of this. The Prime Minister promised that based on that plan, he could deliver you a $275 decrease in your power bill. He promised it not just once, it wasn't just an off-the-cuff remark. He promised it on 97 occasions, and he's never mentioned it since the election. In the budget, they talked about providing more money for groups who were trying to stop gas projects from going ahead, which again will result ultimately in a disruption to supply or an increase in people's power prices. So if the government had a plan before the election, we need to hear about it. How do they plan to deal with gas reserves and other aspects of the policy that they've got on the table? I just don't think the broken promises are going to cut it for families who continue to pay more and more under Labor.
When do you think green hydrogen will start to play a bigger role in the gas market?
Well, I mean, there's obviously a significant investment that we've made as a country, certainly when we were in government, into all types of renewable. We have, on a per capita basis, one of the highest uptakes of solar in the world. That was only possible because of the Coalition's investment into renewables. We had very significant investments in relation to other prospective technologies. The green hydrogen is one such example where we provided support, and there'll be analysis as to the timelines and what prospect there is into the future. Some will succeed, others won't. But when we were in government, we put significant investments into renewable energies, and we still need to firm them up. And if you turn gas off and you turn coal off, then those fridges won't work, those freezers won't work, and that would be devastating for not just families, but the economic impact as well. I just think Australians understand that the circumstances in our region have changed dramatically. I think every Australian except Paul Keating gets that, and you just can't be blind to the intelligence, to what it's saying, and not act on it. I think that would be negligent. And we entered into the negotiations for AUKUS knowing that the circumstances had changed, and we want to see peace prevail in our region. We want stability. We want our very important trading partners to continue to have that relationship with us. We don't want to see bullying in our region. We don't want to see coercive activity. We don't want to see our citizens the subject of data breaches, etc. So there's a lot that is in AUKUS. It's not just the submarine deal, but it's also the investment in space, in AI, many other elements of that deterrence, which will be very important in the years to come. And as I say, the negotiations that we had at the time were difficult, and it had started in 2020, and ultimately it's come to fruition now. So as a coalition, I'm very proud of the fact that that we authored that, and we did the deal that wasn't possible when spending was so low under Labor. And I'm very pleased to be able to support the initiatives that the government's announced with President Biden and Prime Minister Sunak in San Diego this week.